Endangered Species Act of 1973 prevents endangered species from being hunted or harmed.
And you can just remember that Endangered Species Act.
Kind of
Pretty much.
That kind of goes hand in hand.
All these are
Good.
kind of self-explanatory.
All right, keep going.
Wait,
what
year was it?
The Lacey, 1973.
The Lacey Act,
What's it called?
Lacey, L-A-C-Y. It doesn't stand for anything, it's just the name.
Like Macy with an L.
Yeah. I have no idea what this word is.
Let me see. I probably don't know.
Why don't you just read from the back?
Prevents commerce of illegally killed animals. So think of a girl named Lacey, and girls are nice, so they don't want animals to get killed. So, you
So like
can't
no,
sell.
so it's like no poaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, no poaching.
No, I mean, no, the Lacey one is the one that, after they're killed, you make sure you can't sell them.
Yeah.
So that way poachers don't want to poach because it'll be harder to
It's
sell.
not, yeah, profitable.
Okay, wait a minute. Back it up.
And Joe?
Put that all together.
Okay, the Lacey Act is where after you kill an animal, you can't, like, you can't sell it.
If you kill a bald eagle, you can't sell it.
Can I
You
eat
should
it?
say
You kill
elephant.
that one?
Eat it.
You can do whatever you want with
Did
it.
you not kill that?
Okay, if you kill an elephant, you can't sell the tusks.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you
Okay,
can, but you're
So
not legally
poachers
allowed to.
won't
Yeah,
want
you
to
kill a
poach.
bald eagle.
All right.
Have it for yourself.
that makes sense.
No. Not
Animal
anymore.
Damage Control, or ADC, is a service that safely removes any wild animals that are a nuisance. So, basically, like wild dogs, you've got like foxes in your yard eating your stuff in your garden. It's like animal control,
Okay.
So you can kill them?
kind of. Yes.
How about animal destruction control?
So if they're pests, you can kill them.
ADC.
Oh, yeah, this one's easy. Rivers and Harbors Act protects natural waters and promotes commerce.
Perfect.
Where was Hades at?
The Clean Water Act, in 1972, it protects waters from any chemical, physical, or
Let me read that word.
I'm gonna tell you that Clean Water Act and the
Biological
Clean
acts.
Air Act is probably gonna be on your
biological
AP exam.
acts
Big ol' star.
That harm it.
that, yeah, lower
Wait,
water.
I want to hear this again, but more sophisticated.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to go to the back of the book.
Yeah.
Those, no offense, but
Connor.
you need to be
Look
like,
it down.
make sure you say everything. Yeah, there you go.
What's it after?
In 1972, the Clean Water Act, it protects water from chemical, physical, or biological acts that reduce the quality of the water.
Okay,
I can't find it.
I don't
where
remember this
is
when
that taking place? What? Just here?
No, it's
Everywhere.
like all over.
All over? What's all over?
The U.S. of A.
No, I'm talking like, are we the only country that has
No.
it?
No.
No.
What other countries have it?
India.
We're not on that page yet.
China, now.
China.
They were there.
Okay,
they're
good.
getting way
That's a
overpolluted.
definite
Was it
question.
before or after
Okay,
ozone?
Okay. The Clean Air Act,
Here we go.
established
Make it any more-
to
I got it.
promote
Oh,
standards of environmental air.
It's like a dog with its ear
pollute
or mouth.
the-
I got it.
Okay, go for it.
Establish ambient standards for the four primary pollutants: sulfur dioxide, particulates, carbon monoxide, and nitrous oxide. Amended from the Air Quality Act of 1967 and 1970, 1977, and 1990. The rest isn't important.
Okay, so what are the acts that are included in the Clean Air Act? That sounds like a great multiple choice question at the end of your AP exam.
That's totally just.
Then you supposed to be knowledge.
No, you
Okay.
didn't. That's the A.
Tell me those, tell me which ones, tell me it again. What are those,
Clean air.
what are the different,
Can you yell
Gases
I hope
that
you
it-
remember that.
Carbon monoxide, particulates, and nitrous
Carbon
oxide.
monoxide.
Sulfur dioxide.
And nitrogen oxides.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Particulates.
Sulfur,
It's on video.
Let's
that,
put a P.
particulates?
Do you really
remember
wanna
that
piss
one
me off,
line where you
Brian?
put out the-
sulfur dioxide.
I'm really getting irritated.
And nitrogen oxide.
That's so.
Was there carbon monoxide?
So, is there an acronym for this?
Oh, like there could only be so many particles in the
Brian.
air.
And this goes fast and you leave.
Clean people shower.
Particles is like
Now.
only be so many.
Clean people
Yes,
shower
remember
now.
when we did that lab?
That's an-
We took the particles that are collected by the
That's CO2
Vaseline,
Is that
we divided
particles
it by
in
how
water?
many that you're allowed to
Clean
have,
people
and
shower
then
now.
you
Or Connor
estimated
pees,
what
so
your
noisy.
Clean Air Act was.
Or that's
Yes, it said a percentage of PPT, which is like a percentage of particles per
Like clean
square
people shower.
area.
Especially now.
I like
In
Brandon's
the
better.
air,
Connor
basically,
pees.
that's
Yeah,
what I
but
have.
that's redundant.
Clean people shower now.
So
Perfect.
Okay.
people shower down.
The Water Quality Act of 1980
1987.
Alright,
The Water Quality Act of 1987 adds to the Clean Water Act by providing funding for the construction of treatment plants. It requires communities to address watersheds and non-point source pollutants in their development plans.
what's the name of the act?
Water Quality Act.
Okay, and it was added on in 1987 to
Yeah.
just basically
Basically.
treat water,
We don't need to know the dates,
or
right?
just to treat the,
It was basically to improve water quality, like to make plants that treat water.
okay.
So it was going along to help the water, the original water.
Yeah.
It's just saying like, okay, now we have these standards, we have to create an act to, support them and basically filter out the bad things so that if you're gonna have this act in place, how are you going to be able to do it unless you have certain means to be able to reach it? So basically support them.
Okay.
I
I got this one.
Go for it.
The Marine Protection Research and Sanctuaries Act of 1972 prevents improper ocean dumping.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Okay.
Marine
And that's
Protection-
pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Marine
Yeah. The Wilderness Act is mindful of the increasing population's impact on the amount of remaining wilderness lands. This was created to secure an enduring resource of wild America.
So think Wilderness Act,
It-
preserving wilderness.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it pretty much just like does natural
Yeah, but
forests.
they're gonna take that definition and
I don't want to do the next one. You do the next one.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
okay.
what exactly
The
it
Federal
is.
Land Policy Management Act, or the FLPMA. It's 13 points of policy declared by Congress to develop the concept of multiple land use. So the first is that the public lands are retained in federal ownership unless it's determined that disposal of a particular parcel will serve the national interest.
Pretty
So
much the
basically,
government decides what you
What
can
is
do.
that? What is
That's
the,
it, I don't,
It's FLPMA,
what's the name of the act?
the Federal Land Policy Management Act. FLPMA, FLPMA.
What's it
So
do?
land policy?
it's 13 points that, the first one is,
It pretty much says
What's
that you can do
13
on land.
points? What's that mean?
There's 13
Like,
points
there's
that
13
Congress
points
decide
of
what
the
you can
act.
do on land in
Yeah.
effect of the environment.
so what's it do?
it's like, once you're done with the land, it goes on, like, you have to clean up everything you
You
did.
do 13
and
things.
So
to
it's
it
someone else
for it to be okay.
Yeah, no way, someone else can
Talked
use
about
it.
You can't leave your mess after
Yes.
you're done.
Yeah,
Right.
Like, you play in the sandbox, you can't leave your toys.
And that was basically put into effect because of the mining and,
Yeah. this
Clearing up
doesn't
the
have to do with.
Like, they leave
mining.
their
That's
big
That's
mines.
that act, this is like everything else. It's like, say,
Okay.
agriculture or something.
okay.
You play in the
Perfect.
sandbox.
So pretty
I
much
got this one.
clean.
Go for
Uh, The Toxic Substances Control Act,
it. Or Tosca.
or TSCA, is to develop adequate data with respect to the effect of chemicals on top of the environment. So pretty much, it's an act that they're trying to figure out what toxic chemicals do to you. And they're trying to control them. That's why it's called the Toxic Substances Control Act.
Okay.
The Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act, or FIFRA, supplies the legal requirements to have pesticides registered, classified, labeled, distributed, and properly used. FIFRA was written to protect humans and the environment from the possible adverse effect of insecticides. So, basically, it's like, you can't have pesticides that will harm people or anything other than what they're supposed to
These
kill.
are really self-explanatory.
Yeah.
The government's not that clever. at those.
Okay, then go to the ones that, because we have such a limited amount of time, go to the ones that are not.
The rest are just like that.
No, National Environmental Policy Act,
Oh,
or
yeah.
NEPA, was signed into law in 1970 by Nixon. It stops, as a stop and thanks, projects may have to make it back.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's easy.
Well, yeah, I guess
It
it's
just, NEPA just says that government agencies have to consider the environment when making a decision.
yeah.
So, consider.
Ocean energy ban, surf mining
But they
control
don't.
reclamation.
Yeah, but you can get around it. It's like, I considered it, I'm gonna do this.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay,
I consider
comprehensive,
the ocean, but I'm still gonna drill.
Exactly.
Let's leave the
Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation and Liability Act. It's a federal super fund to clean up uncontrolled or abandoned hazardous waste sites, as well as accidents and spills. It's basically like, if you spill nuclear waste, the government has a special fund to help clean it up.
Oh, yeah. And there's, like, the rest of them are pretty self-explanatory. It's like nuclear waste, you gotta clean it up and all that stuff.